All right, what's up, guys? It's Monday, February 2nd here. Got a few familiar faces already in the chat. Jacob, Jason, Kells, Brayton, Wildcat. What is going on? Sick intro beat. Yeah, I agree. That bumps for sure. All right. Today's a slow ass day. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 NBA games left tonight. We got a little bit of college basketball. Matt, what's going on? So I think today is going to be more of like not much of as much of a betting stream, but more of a recap, little bit of the product overview about what we're going to add, and just answering questions and helping you guys out. We got a lot of new members this week with the new launch of the new product, so happy to do walkthroughs on plays. Maybe when we look at the plays, we'll just really take it slow and go through the logic. I have tomorrow morning off until like noon, so I'm probably going to be up pretty early and making probably like a long form YouTube video about how to bet the plus EV bot and read the line movement charts and stuff like that. So this boy Fresh ready to get sharper. Jason said he just got alpha and is amazing. Went up 11 units first day, loving it. Yeah, I was slow as hell today. Like, speaking of slower days, a day like today, I think we have 4 NBA games. It's a Monday. I mean, we really have nothing going on. I've been doing this long enough to know like when there's a good time to take a break. This is the first day that I slept in past like 6 o'clock, and I don't even know how long. Just because we have the product where we want it to be. Not many games going on, so like I don't glue myself to the screen on these kind of slow days, and I kind of just I try to enjoy the slow days when they come, because it does get pretty chaotic. So I wasn't up early. I didn't get any of Math Wins bets this morning. Usually I'm up well before that, doing some work and then placing some bets, whatever he posts. But yeah, you gotta take it slow. I know a lot of people were saying the Signal bet wasn't showing much today, and that's as expected. I think I got like 1 or 2 FanDuel bets down, a couple maybe on Onyx, but really wasn't much today, and wasn't expecting much either. Wrong day to sleep in. I know. I don't know how Math Wins did on the first game. Well, he posted he was up like 1,800 already. He's also up almost. I think he sent me a chart, which I was going to add here, but I don't have it. He's up 28K in the last 30 days. So he's just having a day, having a month, not a day. Anyway, my January, this is what I got pulled up on screen here. $12,621 in profit. And this is my best month of all time. And I've been doing this for like 3 years now. I'm coming up on 3 full years of sports betting. And, I'm someone, I say this over and over, but I only have P1 accounts. I've never made extra accounts. I still have a full-time job, a family. I try to do this for a lot of fun and make like a few $1,000s a month. Like over the last few months, over the last few years, I typically average like $30,000 a year, or maybe $25,000 to $30,000 a year. And that's just like me having fun doing this and building products at the same time, running a YouTube channel, doing live streams, and, just enjoying the process with everyone in the community. So for me to pull off a day, like a month like this, where it's like, obviously a very livable wage, where this is a ton of income. I mean, it's great. And it really directly correlates with the fact that we built the new SharpMoney tools this month. We didn't launch them until like the 20th to like most of our members, but I was using them, since the first week in January, and you can see the results here. It's been kind of crazy. Oh yeah, we'll go over all the Signal stuff as well. But Anthony here, FanDuel Signal, for the plays that Anthony has gotten, because we've had a lot of questions in Discord about, kind of the slower volume on FanDuel, but it's been slower volume on every book recently. And Anthony's been the one that probably grabs more than anyone, but he has 148 wins, 124 losses on FanDuel with an 8% ROI, and up $2,900 just on FanDuel. So we're going to take a dive into the Signal plays, because I mean, we'll go over my tags, we'll go over my sports books and leagues, so we can really talk about what worked for me this month. But Signal is the first one, and maybe I'll just get right into Signal. But for those who don't know, Signal is a part of the SharpMoney Alpha package, which is our most expensive package, and for good reason, because this thing absolutely cooks. These are all NBA player props right now. We're working on some NHL player prop stuff, but it's it's a proprietary system, so I can't tell you exactly how this works, and I hate doing that because I have hundreds of hours of sports betting education on YouTube, and me like trying to be transparent without crossing the line and giving out too much information is kind of tough. But it's going to protect our edge for as long as possible. I don't know if the edge is really ever going to die, because I don't think what we've built is that like you could never replicate it, even if you kind of knew how it worked. But anyway, it's a system that spits out NBA player props, and it's not necessarily a top-down strategy. It's not a bottom-up strategy. It's a blend of basically anything that we think is important that the market tells us or that we know about. So it's a blend of so many different things. And my results, this is what cooked up, the most profits for me this month is the Signal bot, and 284 wins, 208 losses, $6,300 profit with a 10.7 ROI. The one nice thing about this is that if you see a bet on this page, you just click it. You don't have to think about anything else. There's EV percentages. If you wanted to play the higher EV percentages, you could. But honestly, the EV percentages that we flag are extremely conservative. So even the 1% EV plays have actually performed like over 3% ROI long term. So like you're safe to play anything, and it just click buttons. I have no idea how Pick the Odds works, but I can tell you it's much different than that. But without going into any detail, it's definitely different. Alan said he'll sign a non-disclosure agreement. Brayton already tried doing that to me earlier, like before we even launched it to the public. He literally sent me a contract to sign. I did not sign it. It's so funny. Jason said he got like 20 plays from Signal today. Yeah, I mean, that's not that bad. I think most people are just here to look at FanDuel because that's, everyone's limited. They want to get player props down on FanDuel. So this is Signal, and this is, you can see the sports books that I bet with Signal. It's basically all FanDuel. So this is betting Signal, player props, blind, just clicking everything that pops up. 13% ROI betting into FanDuel here, $4,500. So that's where most of my volume comes from. I also hit Fliff, 13-1 on Fliff. I mean, you're not going to do that every month, but yeah, Fliff just gets owned every month. Onyx odds. I'll say one thing. Onyx odds moves their lines very fast, so the volume is kind of slowing down here. I'm actually on a little bit of a losing streak as well. But Onyx odds is one of the better places to bet as well because the limits are kind of higher. Caesar 6-1, Fanatics $35. A couple bets on DraftKings, a little bit on the score. So that's kind of my blend, just so people know the kind of volume I'm getting. Now let's go over to the Signal tracker, which is the tracker, the dashboard that I built that literally tracks every play posted for every single sports book. So this thing includes a ton of duplicates. So it might flag, 5 different plays on Hard Rock, FanDuel, whatever, blah, 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 and post it here. So we see bigger swings on this page because sometimes there's a ton of duplicates. With that being said, I mean, we are at 20,000 total tracked bets. We just crossed, that would be up 1,000 units, I believe, at $100 bet. We are up over 1,000 units now with the system. Now, we obviously know that this is a bot that's tracking them. Sometimes Onyx odds gets posted, and then by the time you click it, the thing locks up and it's gone. So full transparency, like you're not getting this volume. You're not even going to come close to it. This is just a bot that flags everything that we put on that Signal page, just for reference. But we can break this down in so much detail. We can break it down per sports book. We can break it down per market, open and close bets, but we can go overs versus unders, the time before the game has started. Where else? We got all types of filters, the markets, the leagues, etc. So that's basically what we've been doing, is figuring out exactly where this works. We increase our edges where it's working the best and what markets and stuff like that. So we're always looking through this. Yeah, tons of tracking here. All right, it's Matt. Yeah, man. So 99% of the time, my streams are just placing bets. So we will get into betting. I'm just going over a little bit of a recap here, but we're going to get into some betting. Moonchild, System is Fire. Best for EV betting, it depends per sport. I like the 1 to 4 hour before game time for like the NBA. That's where you get all of the injury reports released and stuff like that. So you get some good movements. James is interested, but he's stuck in a DFS only state. I mean, hey, we got prediction markets, we have sweepstakes books, we have offshore books. I don't think there's a state that you couldn't make money in right now. So let's go further into Signal. I'm gonna actually go over the last 7 days because the last 7 days haven't been crazy good, but that's pretty much what we released. So we're running a little bit lower than average. We're running a 4.5% ROI, and we really launched like January 30th or something. So Signal is kind of flatlined, or if not even down a little bit the last couple days. But overall, we're still running a 4.5 ROI on about 5,000 bets in the last 7 days. So the other thing I like to do too is we'll look at all time results for. So this is lead time, ROI by lead time. I go over this quite often as well. But when you're placing these bets, our best results are between 8 and 12 hours or 12 hours plus, where we're returning 10% ROIs, 12% ROIs. Problem here is limits are so low this far out, so you can't get that much money down. Sweet spot is always like 1 hour and 30 minutes before game time, 3% edge 30 minutes before, 6% edge 30 minutes to an hour before, and that's when limits are high. I mean, you can get some serious money down before game time. So these are the ones I'm the most, I always want to make sure these are green because that's where I'm betting the biggest. Yeah, Alan said he's had Signal open all day and he's gotten over 40 bets down even on a slow day. That's the thing with Signal is you can hammer so many bets. Like you can hit Fanatics, ESPN, all those books for $10 a piece if you want to go crazy. I just have limits are lower, so I don't really hit it. Breakdown per sports book. We're crushing every sports book with over a 50 bet sample size. Main ones everyone wants to see. FanDuel over 5.3%, which is exactly what the run rate is. So that's perfect. DraftKings 4.4. We're crushing Sports Trade, which is another exchange, which is nice to see. Onyx odds up 4.2. So that's kind of a little breakdown. Fliff 5. Ballybet, joke of a book, 10.6%. So that's a little recap of Signal. If you guys have any like things you want to look at, like if you wanted to see like, hey, can you show me random market like rebounds on FanDuel or something, we could go into that as well. But you guys can just ask me in the chat. Ooh. FanDuel rebounds. 16% ROI. I didn't know they were running that good. Moonchild at a 9% ROI since the release to VIP. Hell yeah. Everyone's running good. I mean, dude, with the Signal bot and the new EV tool, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, this is what the EV tool, the Signal bot looks like. There's not many plays here right now, and there's like one NBA game left today because it's already 7. So we're not gonna have much to look at, but it's literally book pops up, you hit bet, you don't even think about it. So Signal crushed. The other thing that crushed was the SharpMoney bot. I mean, I came with pretty much, or not the bot, the EV tool. So I made 11% ROI on the EV tool. We'll get into some EV betting strategies. Same thing though. FanDuel is the only book I really focus on. Novig I actually made some money on too, which is good. I just kind of started looking at Kalshi, and Kalshi seems to be kind of soft. I must be the negative variance guy as Signal is down this first week. Yeah, so I was just saying that the last 7 days have not been like overly good here. The last like this weekend, it kind of ran flat, to be honest. But you can kind of see we kind of stabled the trend line a little bit there, which seems like the pattern. You go up, you go flat, you go up, you go flat. So looks like we're ready for a breakout already after a couple of slow days. Do you have a video on prediction markets? Haven't gotten into them, but Chap saying he's up big on Kalshi makes me feel like I'm leaving money on the table. Yeah, dude, that's why I just started downloading them too. I do have a video on prediction markets. Let me open that up and put it in the chat right now. It's actually one of my most viewed videos ever. Obviously, it's just a hot topic, so I'll post that in the chat right now. The link to the prediction market video, just like real basic understanding of how it works and how to make money. Do you think the Wild at 128 represents any value? I have not been looking at the odds there, and our odds page does not have NHL yet, so I get no comments on there. Oh, yeah, so we're gonna go into updates, but Bet365 is on the list for things to add. We have Bet365 odds back, and they will be on the Signal and the Plus EV tool, which we're gonna crush. And then obviously Math wins props up 15% ROI there. I wish I got more than 100 bets in for him, but crushed Onyx odds and did all right on FanDuel. So that's just his VIP plays that he posts in Discord, which he made like, I don't even know how many units he made this month. I guess we could look real quick. So if you didn't know, when you sign up for the Alpha package, you also get our VIP plays. Let's see if Math wins results here. He did just post his results. Right here. This is his chart this month. So he was up 48 units on an 8.9% ROI over 350 bets. Exactly 350. Sorry, 550 bets. I mean, just absolutely crushed it for people tailing the handicapped plays. All right, so that's a little review of my results this month. Going forward, I'm kind of trying to set a goal for myself. I honestly think $50,000 this year is probably my goal. I know I'm off to a hot start, but the most I ever made in the year was like 34, I think. So if I could make 50 this year, betting, that would be great as well. At the same time, trying to grow the SharpMoney community and build out as many tools as possible as well. So the betting side is kind of secondary to all the other stuff we got going on, to be honest. The 10% tax change, I'm still not sweating it until probably like 6 months in. There's a lot of bills in the works here. I think one of them will eventually get in. It's kind of a no-brainer to pass it. But there, we have a video. We spent, I think, like an hour and a half with a professional sports betting accountant, Gary Conler. If you guys are looking for someone to do your taxes this year, definitely check out Gary Conler. He's the SharpMoney's accountant, and he'll be doing my personal sports betting accounting this year. But it seems like worst case scenario, we can go by daily session betting, which would eliminate a lot of our net losses, having to count our net losses. So like we just go into my last month where I had a lot of positive days. I only have to claim losses and only take 90% on this one to like 7-8 days. So it's not ideal. I mean, we're going to be paying still money or extra taxes on money we did not make, but it won't kill us in the end. But I'm not sweating anything until we get like 6 months in. And then maybe we have to change up a betting strategy. But until then, I'm going all out, and we'll figure it out later. But I think we're still in a safe spot. Bet365 interns about to be fired left and right. Moonchild putting some goals out there. Finished the year up 14,000, shooting for 30 this year, only using SharpMoney products. We can do it, man. We got it. Okay, let's go look at some plays then. And these probably won't be. Actually, let me go my filters. I don't know why I get all these books on. I have all the books on. No, I don't. All right, Hard Rock. Get rid of Bovada. We'll talk about Kalshi a little bit too if we see a bet. All right, these are the books I use, so we'll put those on. So let's just take a look here. We get a lot of. Actually, let's first go into features that we're going to add because this was the first week that we launched our new products. Like you can see this Plus EV tool, and we have a ton of feedback. I think we have a list of features that we want to work on and add. And I think we have a list of like close to 20 already in the first week. Talk about this all the time, but we will shape this product around what the community wants and needs. So in our first round of features that will be released, which is probably going to be by the end of the week or at the end of the week, we are going to release the pause button. So this is auto refreshes every, I think, like 10 or 30 seconds. And sometimes if you're at the bottom of the page and you're looking at something, the page will auto refresh and bring you to the top. So we are putting a pause button so that you guys don't have your screens bouncing up and down when you're trying to look at charts. So that's one of the first features. We're adding a date or like a time frame for your bets. So like this one's tomorrow at 6. So personally, I don't like betting day before unless it's the NFL or college football even. So you're gonna have a filter for that. We'll be adding an odds filter. So if you want to only bet within minus 150 and plus 150, you can have that. I think that's our first round of filters that we're changing and adding. Oh, also you're going to be able to input your bankroll size, and then it'll tell you exactly how much to bet based on the Kelly criterion formula that you decide. So if you want to bet everything at half Kelly, you type in your bankroll amount, and it'll recommend you an actual dollar amount instead of a unit size. So no more mental math. Scoop says I want to move to Mass. Mass isn't even, it's good for betting, but it's not even the best. I forget what states have a lot more, but there are a few states that are just crazy. I think maybe Arizona is the state that has like so many books. But Cobb, I've only used Kalshi so far. There's a long wait list for Polymarket, which I have been approved, but I've been having issues with, and maybe someone knows this, but on the Polymarket app, it's only showing me moneyline plays, but on the website, it's showing me everything. I don't know. It's confusing. I've only been using Kalshi. One thing to note is that Polymarket has no take fees. Kalshi has a lot of take fees, but that's baked into the SharpMoney price. So those filters will probably be available this weekend, before this weekend. So let's look at this Kalshi play just to kind of maybe get a look here. So it's an opening number here, Texas A&M, minus 2.5 today. We see recent movement on the main line go from them getting 2 to 1. So like 1 point movement in this favor. I mean, this is a play that I would take. So minus 2.5 plus 145 is what we would want. I got to log in here 1 second. I might have to change my. So here we go. Oh, I don't even have any money in this account right now. So this is probably. I got $9 in cash. Let's see. Maybe I shouldn't talk about Kalshi right now. Okay, well, this opened up. No, this isn't even pulling the right. All right, East Texas A&M wins by over 2.5 points. So that would be Texas A&M minus 2.5 plus 145. So we would want to buy the yes at 39 cents, and then your contracts. I mean, we would just probably buy 10. I could probably buy 20 contracts, which would estimate $8. So we're buying this at 39 cents, which means if it wins, we get paid out $1 on our bet. But I have a video going into the detail. But yeah, that's how easy it is to bet on Kalshi here. But let's just look at some normal sports books. How long before price goes up? I don't think we're touching the price. We've set it at a price where we feel very comfortable that we're not going to have to move it for a while, and we're going to add a ton of products to it without adjusting anything. So you can change. I think you have to do it on the main screen, but you could change everything to percentages. But it would be nice if Kalshi had. Oh, I can change them. I know what I'm saying. Yeah, on the Kalshi, you can change your settings to show American odds. But when you go to place a contract, it still shows you the percentages. So it's not that useful, to be honest. So here's one on Novig. McNeese versus Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin plus 2.5. We see a pretty good line movement down towards Stephen F. Austin here. Pinnacle had it plus 110. Now they're sitting at minus 115. I mean, even Circa's down here at minus 115. Yeah, we're going to take this play. McNeese plus 2.5, plus 102. We'll see if we still have any liquidity still here. Nope, that liquidity is gone. So back to the board. Let's see what else we got here. Let's find. Oh, Pats plus 2.5. I already have enough Pats bets. Play for tomorrow. I don't want to take that. Here's one. Rio Grande Valley minus 10.5. Pinnacle just went from plus 113 down to plus 102. We'll see if we can still grab this at plus 115, but that's kind of what you're looking for. Hey, it's still here. We'll see what we get down. I mean, these are some small schools playing tonight. Low limits. $26 max bet for me. You can find that one on The Score, or formerly known as ESPN. But the reason we like it is just because Pinnacle has started offering lower payouts, which means the win probability is going up. One thing to consider here is that the limit is $500 on Pinnacle, so not a really trustworthy limit. The higher the Pinnacle limit is, we're typically looking for a couple $1,000 Pinnacle limits to have faith in their lines, because that's their confidence level and their willingness to take a bet. If their line is set at $500 versus $50,000, you can trust their $50,000 line more than a $500 line. Sergio asking what books are mostly used or tracked on SharpMoney. I'll show you exactly all the books we have real quick, because there's like 20 plus retail books. So here are all your books: FanDuel, DraftKings, MGM, Caesars, Fanatics, The Score, Novig, Fliff, Kalshi, Ballybet, Bet105, BetCris, BetOnline, BetRivers, BetUS, Bovada, Hard Rock, Onyx Odds, Polymarket, ProfitX, Rebet, Sports Trade, and SX Bet, along with, like I said, we're going to add Bet365 in probably a week or two. Good question here. Do you take the bet even if the limit isn't rising? So the best plays are when limits go up and then the odds drop immediately. But seeing odds dropping is typically a good sign no matter what. So it's kind of the scale of like good and great plays. The best play is, maybe we'll get a good example of it here later, but yeah, limits go from $5,000 to $10,000, and then immediately you see Pinnacle go from minus 130 to minus 150 or something like that. That's like perfect and ideal. I wish I had an example to show you that, because I'm sure none of these are like great examples. So here's another one too, where it's like, this play is at 8 o'clock tonight. So we're 30 minutes away from this game starting. This market has been up and down all day with 3 Sharps books, Bookmaker, Pinnacle, Circle, all baked into this line. Circa hasn't moved since 1 o'clock this morning. Bookmaker hasn't moved since 1. Pinnacle's been kind of bouncing up and down. But this is a play that I take without any crazy good line movement because we have a 2% edge here. The market is clearly stable. Nothing crazy is going on here. We have 3 sharp books. This is something that I would take a stab at without good line. I would not consider this good line movement, but we have the edge to play it. So, and it's closer to game time. If we were 12 hours away from the game starting, this is something that I would not place because there's too much volatility. But I think this edge is going to close at 2%. Also, really cool thing is look at this order book. Let me pull that back up. Shout out Novig for offering plus 107 odds on one side and pretty much minus 108 on the other side. Couple actually real good indicators here. I'm really liking this Kansas play a lot more actually now that I'm looking at the order book, which can be used for information as well. Look at the money backing. You're going to see Kansas get absolutely cleared here, probably down to that 108. That number is going to go for sure. But look at this money backing Kansas plus 4.5. We got $1,000 here at plus 108 because you have to inverse it to understand what they're betting. You have $2,700 backing at plus 109. So we get a lot of money on the Kansas side of things. We see a little action coming back. People paying to take Texas Tech minus 4.5 for plus 102 for K. But I mean, that order book just got destroyed down to plus 100. What did we just grab that out? Plus, I guess I can look in here, portfolio. Plus 107. So, I mean, this market's probably going to go under 100, and we just got that plus 107. And no VIG markets close very efficiently. So, it's not like you have to beat the VIG here. You just got to get probably the best odds in the market to really feel good. Would Tennessee Tech be the kind of chart we want? All right, good question. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, this is so good. I should probably put more money into Kalshi account. All right, thank you for shouting out Tennessee Tech. Sorry. So let's talk about why this play is so good. The first chart we see is the odds movement chart with Pinnacle. So this shows you what books have the same number, and it shows you their odds. Other thing we can do is we could pop open this tab, show you all the books in the market here. This shows the main line, not the alt line, because a lot of books don't have the alt lines. So you get a good picture of the market here. But mainly I just used this. And what you see is exactly what we're kind of looking for, where Pinnacle limits raised from $2,000 to $3,000. Pinnacle's price was plus 108. And since that Pinnacle limit, we immediately saw a drop down to minus 101. So that was a 9-cent movement downwards in favor of Tennessee Tech. And it's been running ever since. Now we're down to minus 122. So I believe I actually took this play already earlier in the day when it was looking good. Yeah, so I got this at plus 101 earlier in the day on Kalshi. And it's still value at minus 108. I mean, I got a much better price, but it's still a lot of value. This is a service where we really preach that the EV percentage is just an identifier. There's so much value in these low EV plays. Like I probably think that this play has more value than the Kansas play that was flagged at 2% EV. And that little odd screen refresh there, that's what we're getting rid of. So secondly, this chart looks solid. So I really probably wouldn't even scroll down to the next chart. But the other chart you want to look at, like I said, not all the sharp books always have the alternate lines like this has, like Pinnacle has. So what you want to do is kind of get a grasp of their main lines. What are they setting their minus 110 lines at? So you look at the main line graph and you want to see this coming down. You always want to see on spreads this coming down. So I'm looking at a spot where all 3 sharp books aligned, and that was kind of early in the day. Everyone had Bookmaker, Circa, Pinnacle, all had this at Tennessee Tech plus 9. Now everyone is now at plus 7.5. So what does that mean? Texas Tech was at 9. Now the main line set to 7.5. That means Tennessee Tech is getting some action, and all these sharp sports books are lowering their main line. So good trend on the odds, good trend on the main lines. Really good stuff there. Glad you called that one out. Oh, and we got a Battleborn ship it in the chat. Kansas +5. We did hit it +4.5. We do have derivatives and alternate markets. Another cool little feature. We have like pretty in depth breakdowns here. But you go to the league, you can go to NBA point spreads, and you can set filters for just the derivatives on point spreads, the derivatives on money lines, whatever you want. So you might want to see point spread for first quarters, but not total points for first quarters, things like that, which is pretty unique to Sharp Money. Here's a play that we got. I said rob the liquidity here, so I'm not even going to bother trying to bet it because he probably scooped it all. Let's see. Where's it gone? It is gone. Yep, so he must have pulled it off the board. Unless I'm blind. Also a possibility. Grambling -4.5. Yeah, so this is just one I'm just going to lay off of. Kind of up and downward movement here. More recently, books have been trending up. So yeah, I'm skipping that one. Kansas play. We already have a Kansas play, so we don't need to double dip there. Ole Miss is tomorrow. Here's one. Philly money line -104. Ooh. All right, I like this one as well. So obviously some big injury news happened here where the market's tanked towards 76ers and then it recovered a little bit. So I think this market it's finding its level kind of. But so I don't think this market's going to move too much. I think it came to the right number. Overall movement has been downward. So 76ers definitely, someone must have been injured for the Clippers, or maybe someone's playing on the 76ers that was questionable. But this market's kind of stable now. It's a mainline play. Pinnacle limits are at $7,500. They probably don't get too much higher for money lines. Maybe they'll double. Maybe we'll see a little bit more movement, but this is an hour and a half away. So this is something I'm going to take. That's a lot of money backing it, though. So I'm actually not going to take this. So I'm using the order book as kind of, it could be a hedge bet, but I'm using the order book as another reference point. And someone's backing the Clippers at +104 for like 3K. So to me, this isn't a bet that I'm going to take just because it's not screaming in one direction. Someone clearly has an opinion on it for 3K. So it's not something I'm going to take just because the liquidity is really heavy there. If it was a higher edge, maybe like a 2% edge, I would play it. But when I'm dealing with this small of an edge, I don't really like any uncertainties. If this market was only downwards and didn't pop back up recently, then I would consider playing it too. But this chart's it's a little bit concerning just because it hit a bottom and came up -124. It's like 10 cents back up. So I don't love it. You could argue to play it if that liquidity doesn't scare you, but Moonchild said someone's also taking the 76ers side, though. So they're taking 76ers for +100. I guess you're kind of right, actually. We would take it for -104. So, and how much money do they have? They have 5K, so it's a bigger bet. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a balanced book. So I guess you're kind of right. Let's just take a stab. I think you're kind of right. I think that the book is kind of balanced with that. It's a 4-cent gap between a few $1,000 posts. So Moonchild, I might owe you a couple dollars if this one hits because you changed my mind. And I have like no action tonight, so I'm not going to say that was a forced play. but I think it's a small edge. It's just not a slam dunk. Quentin Grimes under 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists on Signal. Click the button, go bet it. Don't even think about it. Minus 121. Signal price is minus 124. So that's the only thing you got to think about is are we getting a better price than the Signal price, which obviously we flag it at a better price, but sometimes the lines move fast. So I'm probably going to get like $5, $10 down here, but we're gonna try. Ooh, we got notifications on Pickett hedge opportunities. That means there's some good value on our bets. He said it's not in the tool. Check if your EV percentage is set below 1%, because I think the standard is sets it to 1. That play was like 0.7%, so I just check it. $3. We got $3.62 down on DraftKings. I usually don't even bother betting this, but just for the point of the stream and people seeing it. Yeah, so Signal is minus 124, which means you can play it up to minus 124. Honestly, like I said, our EV percentages are so conservative. Our 1% EV plays are returning like 3%. So take that into account. Like, you don't feel like you can't play up to or it's slightly worse than the Signal price. Ooh, the Signal price just got even better. So that means fair value is going even lower. It just changed from minus 124 to minus 125. So, and the edge went up. See where the Patriots line's doing. Look at these limits, guys. Pinnacle is taking $150K. This is an alt line too. $150,000. And we do see a little action towards the Pats plus 2.5 at 150K limits. Not going to bet it, but as a Patriots fan, I love to see it. What's the over doing here? This over kind of dropped a little bit too. I don't know if I have a big bet. The overall line movement has been going towards the under, though. I don't really have a huge bet for the Super Bowl. I have a decent amount of money on the Pats. Here's your Tennessee Tech play if you want to get more down. This is real solid. Tennessee Tech plus 9.5. Minus 122. $300 available. Why is my location restricted? I've been betting you guys all day. Oh, Rio Grande. Let's go. We just bet them minus 10.5 on stream. Tennessee Tech minus 122. All right, so it's there for 375. I don't really worry about liquidity unless it's like thousands of dollars. I'm just going to check my Pickett because I know I have a bet on them already. I just want to make sure. So $200 on them already. So I don't want to overexpose myself. I'm probably just going to add 100 here. All right, that's going to be it for me tonight. We'll be back on tomorrow night with hopefully Sigma and Jay's plays to talk some industry news. And then we'll wrap the stream up with a little betting as well. We'll go over the features again and stuff like that with the whole team. But tomorrow night's the big one, 8 o'clock at night, where we have a bunch of these SharpMoney owners get together and kind of just chit chat about the product and what's going on in the industry. That's always a fun one. So I don't mind streaming alone, but it's good to have some other voices talking back to me. All right. So with that being said, if you want to join SharpMoney, the Discord is free to join to start. If you want to access to any of these products, check out the link down below or go to betsharpmoney.com. You can see all the product details laid out there, all the price options, and all the features and stuff like that. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully some of these bets, it wasn't a big betting day. We got some down. Hopefully the next couple days we'll get some more action in. But thank you guys for watching. See you tomorrow night, or if not Thursday night, I also stream. So see you guys then.